Good evening, it's Jeff here at Budrum, and Wilma's on the camera, and this evening we're going to make a seafood masala. So I've got some seafood thawing out here. We've got some nice reef fish, pearl perch, we've got some king prawns and some Moreton Bay bugs. So I'm going to meat all them and make my masala curry and add it to that. So we'll come back when we get a bit closer. I'm also going to have it with some toasted naan bread. So I just bought this from an Indian spice shop, this masala, and we've already tried it and it turned out fantastic. So we're just going to make this. Alright, we'll come back when we get ready. Alright, so we're ready to rock and roll with this seafood masala here. I've got my saucepan here, heavy base saucepan. I've got the heat up pretty high. I'm just going to put about a tablespoon of olive oil, and I've got one chopped up onion. Just going to place that in there. Let that simmer. Let that simmer away. And we've also got in this saucepan, we've got some veggies. We're going to put our seafood masala on a bed. We've got some kidney beans and some sweet potato and sweet corn. We're just going to combine those together and put our seafood masala on a bed of that. And we'll come back in a minute. We'll come back a bit. Okay, so the onions have browned up nicely. So what I'm going to add to them is 1 teaspoon of chopped garlic and 1 teaspoon of chopped ginger. By the way, the ginger's out of our garden. Anyway, we're just going to cook them for a couple of minutes, or for about a minute. And basically at the same time, the sauce is pretty hot. What I'm going to do is put in 2 teaspoons of this masala. Like I was saying before, we tried this before and it was fantastic. Maybe that was a fairly big one, that one. So I'll just put about that much. Got enough to last us for 2 nights here. I say we've got a great big plate of seafood there. So we chopped up our seafood coarsely. I'm only going to cook this for about a minute. Cook up the spices. And we're going to use the coconut milk. I've got 1 cup of coconut milk I'm going to add to that. And that'll help deglaze the pan a bit. Just oh, this milk on here is beautiful. Yeah, that's making me cough. Yeah, I think that's probably long enough. So I'll put the coconut milk in there. So I've got 1 cup of coconut milk. I'm just going to deglaze the saucepan with that. And what I'm going to add to that now is we've got about 1/4 of a cup of raw cashews. They've been cut in half. So we're not using cooked cashews. The raw cashews soak up the juice. And I've got about 1/4 of a cup of sultanas. Now, not many people like sultanas in their curry, but it just happens that Wilma and I both like them. So we're just going to let that simmer and let the sultana soak up some of the juice, and going to let that simmer, and then we're going to put our seafood in there. And I've got about a teaspoon of salt as well. I'm going to put that in there. I'm just going to let that come to the simmer. So we'll let that simmer for maybe 10 minutes, and then we'll put our seafood in there. So we'll come. Okay, Okay, so while our sauce is simmering away here, I just want to talk about this naan bread. Now I made this, I made a video a short while ago, probably 5 or 6 weeks ago or more, how to make naan bread, and I mentioned how I make it thick enough so I can cut it down the middle and toast it. Now, so what we're going to do is have some toasted naan with our masala, seafood masala. So what I do is just cut it down the middle with a bread knife, and it's just big enough for our toaster. But now this smells beautiful. But so what we do is, so you can see its nice texture in the middle there. So just before we ready to dish up our meal, I'm just going to put this in the toaster and let it toast up, and the smell that comes out of the toast is absolutely beautiful. So we didn't let it get too dark on either side, and so that we can brown up the toaster and it won't burn. So this has reached the stage now where we can, it's been simmering for probably 10 minutes, so we can put our seafood in there now. So we're just going to, we don't want to overcook the seafood, so we're going to get a bit more liquid out of the fish into the masala. So it's going to make. So the beauty of cooking your fish in something like this is that all the juice that comes out of the fish stays in the dish that you're eating. So you don't lose any of the good stuff out of the fish. So we're just going to let that simmer just until the fish is cooked and the prawns. So we're just going to there's our lid for that. So just going to let that simmer for about maybe 10 minutes, and we'll come back when we're ready to dish. Okay, so we're here, and our seafood masala is looking fantastic. It's just okay. So we're just ready to dish it up now. So we've got our sweet potato, kidney bean. Well, actually, it's a pinto bean, and sweet corn mash as a bed. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Now we've got our naan bread here that's come out of the toaster beautifully, and the smell of it coming out of the kitchen is absolutely beautiful. Now we've got our. I'm just going to dish this up. Oh, yeah. We'll just sort of show the one just for now, won't we? Just use my thing to clean the side of the plate. And how does that look?
Oh, it looks scrumptious.
Looks fantastic. I'm happy with it. I'm wrapped. Okay, now the thing I wanted to point out, now this fish masala is very inexpensive. I think it costs about $3 for the packet, and we're going to get quite a few meals out of it. We bought it from an Indian spice shop. We noticed while I was at this Indian spice shop, a lot of Indian people shopping there. So if you're looking for something like that, just go to an Indian spice shop. That's where the Indian people shop. So okay, well, thanks very much for that, and we'll say goodbye and all the best. Cheers for now. Bye.